My male coworker insisted I take notes in every meeting because of my neat handwriting. Yesterday, I discovered he's been publishing my ideas as his research for 3 years. I still remember my first day at Meridian Leps. Dr. James Bennett shook my hand firmly and said, "We're thrilled to have a woman with your credentials join our team." That should have been my first red flag. 3 years and 2 past. Over promotions later, I've become the unofficial secretary in every research meeting despite having the same PhD as my male colleagues. "Sarah, would you mind taking notes? Your handwriting is just so much neater than ours," James would say with that practiced smile. I always complied, eager to prove myself, desperate not to be labeled difficult in a department where I was the only female scientist. During meetings, I'd share research ideas only to have them dismissed. Then, mysteriously, James would present nearly identical concepts weeks later to enthusiastic approval. I told myself I was imagining things. Imposter syndrome playing tricks on my mind. Last month, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. I took 2 weeks off to help her through her first round of chemo. When I returned, everyone was congratulating James on his breakthrough publication in the Neuroscience Today. Which publication? I asked a colleague during lunch. The one about selective neural pathway regeneration using modified stem cells. James has been working on it for years, apparently. The methodology is revolutionary. My coffee cup froze halfway to my lips. That wasn't James's research. That was my research, my exact methodology. The very approach he had called too experimental when I presented it last year. That night, I stayed late and accessed the department's shared drive. There in a folder labeled Sloss in Research, I found 3 years of meeting notes, meticulously organized. Next to them, draft after draft of research papers with my ideas developed into full studies, all under James's name. Most damning was an email draft to the department head. "Sarah's note-taking has been invaluable. Her organization skills free up my mental space for the creative thinking that drives our research forward." I was never the secretary. I was the unacknowledged brain behind his rising star. The next morning, I walked into our weekly meeting with my laptop instead of my usual notepad. When James predictably asked, "Sarah, would you mind taking notes?" I smiled sweetly. "Actually, I can't today. I am too busy preparing my presentation for the International Neuroscience Conference next month. I've been invited to present my research on selective neural pathway regeneration." His face drained of color. That's my research, is it?" I opened my laptop and projected a split-screen parent my original meeting notes next to his published paper. Because I have 3 years of documentation suggesting otherwise, I've already spoken with the journal editors and the department head. The room fell silent as my colleagues finally saw what had been happening right in front of them. "I don't mind taking notes, James," I added, sliding a notepad across the table to him. "But I think it's your turn. Your handwriting might not be as neat, but I am sure you'll manage. Some people mistake kindness for weakness. Others mistake silence for consent. I am not making either mistake again."